going to drop out because I'm hungry.
Well, we're live now, so now you have to stay, mate. You can't drop out now. That's just ill form.
That's just rude.
Yeah, and
anyway, welcome to our live
as
stream
there are
today.
2 whole people waiting, and that's probably me and Modwain.
And me.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's 3 then. Why is it?
No, it only says 2.
It only says 2. Anyway, I hope more people will show up and watch the live stream. Sometimes they do. Mostly
I'll
it's
tell you
about
what,
10
I'll
to
mute
12.
myself, and if I have something to say, I will rudely interrupt.
Well, please have your mouth empty then, though.
Like last stream. No, like previous stream, Mod is going like, John, you want to say it? I'm eating! I love that one.
Anyway, welcome to Modwain's House of Fun. I'm sorry, guys. We had a little bit of fun pre-stream, and that's what's carrying into the stream. But today's topic will be, do we need... Oh, sorry, I need a hiccup. Do we need to return to the rule of law? And should we hold the rule of law as the supreme law of the land? Or should we keep doing what we're doing now? Which, to me, seems that we're blundering into political correct situation after political correct situation. I can't use a different word than situation. I can't really understand it better. Sorry?
No, fuck that shit. I mean, if you're hungry and you have to steal food, that's a different story. But don't bow to this PC bullshit.
So, there are plenty of things, obviously, that I feel that are harming our society because of this PC bullshit, as Smirker so aptly named it. But
and no exceptions for rich people either.
No, not at all. No. The rule of law is the rule of law. It should be as Hammurabi said. The rules are set.
No exceptions for Islamic people either.
No exceptions for anyone. The rule of law is what should guide all of us.
But this is what's bringing it into disrepute because people are not being treated equally under the law.
Well, there you have it. And St. Clair is now nicely playing Lord of the Rings.
Yep. I wasn't going to say anything.
I was. I think it's funny.
I'm still paying attention. I'm just going to get my orc on.
Oh, man, you have to screen share in a moment. Anyway, no, but the thing is, should we force our society to return to the rule of law? And there is something inherently dangerous to this as well. I've always advocated to go back to the rule of law. I think it's very important. But there is a danger to going to the rule of law. After all, this is how fascism got started.
What?
Fascism itself was also a return to the rule of law.
No shit.
Well, yeah. It was Bolsheviks attacking civilians in Italy, and then politicians standing up against it whilst fighting back, and then also bringing back the rule of law. Unfortunately, though, the rule of law for some, not for all.
Oh, okay, so they only partially went to the rule of law.
Well, yes. And we see the same thing happening in Europe now, where we have a partial rule of law as well. Basically, we have people who can break the rules and people who can't, which is painful. Hi there, Alicia, by the way. Alicia, you want to join?
Hey, Alicia. I never knew that about fascism.
Alicia's got a bit of a problem at the minute. I think she might be busy.
Oh, okay. Well, if she wants to join, she's more than welcome, as always.
Oh,
by the way, I have an announcement, my dear people. Rin might not be able to join us in the future as often. No, that's not a question of might. Rin won't be able to join us in the future as often as she did in the past because her job got bigger. She got more hours, so she'll be working during these hours.
Congratulations, Rin.
Yeah, which is great for Rin, which is too bad for us, really, because I did like Rin to join us. And I'm going to share St. Clair's orc thingy. I recognize that orc. That's not Lord of the Rings, is it?
Yeah, it is.
Orc symbol. Was that a Lord of the Ring orc symbol? I thought that was a Warhammer one.
It's the Eye of Sauron.
Oh, okay. Well, I hope you're feeling better soon.
You don't have to share me. I mean, this is not the most important thing happening right now.
Yeah, but it's better than watching at our faces. Let's be honest. If I have something else to share, I will. But for now, feel pressured. I hope you're feeling well soon, Alicia. Less stressed. No, but should we return to the rule of law? Are we allowed to let go of the rule of law as much as we've been doing? For example, in Europe. Europe has let go of the rule of law massively. And what we're seeing happening is a lot of crime. And a lot of people aren't allowed to talk about this because certain crime comes from certain groups. And pointing out that certain crime comes from certain groups automatically means you must be a racist.
What the crap?
This is very low frame rate on the screen share.
Okay, I'll turn you off.
They'll still be able to see it when I'm talking. It's just
True that. Well, I don't care.
it looks better. It looks better to me than it does to everybody else because it's smoother to me.
Yeah, I really need to find out how to do that live streaming with how do you call it? OBS. Because apparently you can have it cleaner then.
Yeah, definitely.
So I really need to figure out how that works.
I mean, for just talking, this is fine, but for gaming, I always use OBS.
Yeah. No, but to go back to the topic, criminals go free. Free people are treated like criminals. It's sick and sad. And 100% agree with you, Alicia, because the behavior of this, what happens is, and again, this is reminiscent to what happened in the 1915s, 15, in Italy, when the Bolsheviks started attacking random people because they didn't agree with their doctrine. And the governments were more or less allowing this to happen. This is what gave rise to fascism. Now everyone is talking how in Europe everyone is turning right-wing, but most people aren't turning right-wing. They're basically turning away from allowing crime to happen. Anyway, someone else take the word for a moment because I need a fast bio break. I'll be right back.
No, we're just going to be dead quiet until you return.
None of us are leaders like he is.
I don't really know a whole lot about the rule of law, to be honest. Like traffic laws, and drug laws in the Netherlands, that's basically the extent of my law knowledge. So I do like that when I was living in Portland, Oregon, the cops wouldn't necessarily do anything if you were having a party with underage drinking and pot and drug use and stuff. If they weren't called for drug-related calls. And everybody that freaks out, they got arrested, and everybody would just stay calm inside and
I think I start
keep
off
on chilling. They wouldn't get any problems with the police.
I think I start off being a little bit biased against the question because it's a topic that most of us really agree.
Yeah, that's true.
Speaking to it, we're not speaking to anybody else about it. We're just talking. It would be great if somebody would disagree with the conclusion, but I think all of us pretty much come to the conclusion that the rule of law is quite important, and that if for no other reason than for benefit, you should follow it.
Can I disagree?
Excuse me, John?
I'm back, sorry.
You're a little quiet. You're a little quiet.
Yeah, sorry.
I can't boost you more, mate.
But put your mouth to the mic, man. Jesus Christ.
I will. It's my Foxy iPhone. Okay. Here's the problem with the rule of law. The rule of law is only okay so long as the laws are just and they are enforced impartially.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the rule of law as a sacrosanct good isn't a sacrosanct unconditional good. It is a conditional good.
Well, true that. Yeah.
And therefore, no, but this is one of the sleights of hand they pull, so that they say, "Oh, you've got to they've got to follow the rule of law," and then they corrupt the rule of law, they corrupt the judiciary, they corrupt the whole system. They don't apply the laws equally to people depending upon what community they come from, and so they bring the law into disrepute.
Mm-hmm.
And so the problem isn't the law. The problem is the whole mechanism whereby what laws are set, how they're enforced, how, it's like this whole trying to remove due process that's happening a lot in America, especially for sexual crimes.
Well, this is true because, especially in the sexual crimes, we've been listening to the doctrine "listen and believe" for far too long. But this is the thing, though. I mean, feminists can claim on how they got sexually assaulted, and we have to believe that. But even if we can prove that men or boys have been sexually assaulted, then there is no proof enough because somehow we all think it's normal. John, I don't know what sounds you're making, mate, but I'm going to mute you.
Okay.
Mhm.
It's
We don't need to hear you do dishes.
Yeah. Well, you assume it's dishes. He could have gone to the toilet. I don't know.
No. Because of all the other sounds, it's dishes.
Yeah, I'm not I'm not familiar with urine making a steam sound when it hits the water.
Sorry. I was just rinsing my bowl so that the cereal didn't stick to it.
Were you rinsing your balls? See, that toilet narrative makes sense, guys. I'm telling you.
When I heard rinsing my bowl, I immediately thought of drugs.
The only drugs I take are prescribed by my doctor.
Well, there is that.
Or contained in beer.
No, but seriously though, if we look at what happened in the past, but also if we look at what's happening now, we have created a society where the rule of law means this is what I feel is important, but for you there is something else.
What?
Well, basically, I'm a Muslim, therefore I can beat up my wife. You're not a Muslim, therefore you are perpetrating domestic violence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm a woman, therefore I can be raped, but I cannot rape someone else. How many tales do we know of women having raped schoolboys, and they get away
not
with
in
a
Britain.
slap on the wrist?
Not in Britain,
Yeah,
because they can't do rape in Britain.
Yeah, they're not even. It's not even considered rape.
And statutory rape in that case.
No,
The issue with laws like that is that women comprise a very large portion of the population, and if they realize that this law is beneficial to them, they're not, and they're self-interested, they're not going to want to do anything about it.
No, that is a slight. Women aren't such a monolith. And there's
No, they're not.
Oh no, I don't think that women are a monolith. I think that self-interest is a monolith.
No, because if you actually were able to identify who supports that attitude, you would probably find as many, if not more, men. Right. But
if you're talking about who ought to support that attitude based on self-interest, I think that a woman who is against that, she might be doing right, but she's not doing something that, from a self-interested point of view, would be intelligent.
Because you have a very simplistic attitude to self-interest. Self-interest is much more complex than, oh, I won't get prosecuted for this crime, because you have families, you have...
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, don't forget that women, on average, can also be mothers.
Well,
And,
yeah.
and there lies the kicker. And this is why feminism, less than 20% of the women in the Western world consider themselves feminist. And unfortunately, still less than 40% of the women recognize how feminism is actually a detriment to society. So there's about 60% of the women who are on the fence on this, but there are more women against feminism than there are in favor of feminism. So that's a good thing, in my humble opinion.
I think so as well.
Yeah, because doesn't it fuck with other stuff that's important to women?
How do you mean?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, why else would women be against it, you know?
That's sort of what I was thinking, but it is a detriment to you if your son gets falsely accused of rape.
Yeah.
Yep, because then you're a bad mama.
No. It's not even so much that you're a bad mama. You see your son being destroyed.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what I was getting at. Your ability, your son's ability to produce offspring is severely affected by that negatively, and you might not. And if your son is in prison, you're far less likely to have grandchildren.
Or can't get a job.
Aren't there a bunch of criminals that have fangirls too, though? Like
Yeah, but they have to be physically attractive, though.
Or to be a serial killer.
There are some serial killers that have been, considered physically attractive, that I have seen tweets by women who said, you know what? He can rape me all he wants. He can rape me all he wants. And that sort of attitude. I'm not going by the exact words, but it's that attitude.
No, there's a class of women who are actually attracted to that kind of extreme male behavior.
Yep.
That's why 50 Shades of Grey became such a great novel.
And it's
not because men like the story.
It's the same reason why police officers and military men are are often considered so attractive. It's a fetish.
Yeah.
In a way.
It's a power fetish.
Well, no, it's a protector fetish.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. About the 50 Shades, I'm a fan of the whole Twilight things. When I see 50 Shades, I immediately get linked to all the situations of Twilight.
There's nothing more attractive for some women. There's nothing more attractive than a man who has the ability to kill somebody with his bare hands, but doesn't use that power against you or people he cares about.
Yeah.
Isn't that the age-old protector man from
that's what we say.
caveman days?
Excuse me, Marcus?
Isn't that like the doesn't that stem from caveman days?
Well,
I think there might be something evolutionary about it, but I can't explain it without thinking about it a little bit further.
Well, it's because of the essential humans nurture very helpless young for a very long time. And the mother is, for 2 or 3 years, the mother can't leave the child. And so she is particularly vulnerable because she can't defend herself and the child, and therefore needs someone to be a protector.
Okay, Alicia, you make a good point when telling us what we are attracted to. Well, there is a reason why we do this, because certain things we see, but this is obviously not true for all women.
I'm not telling anyone what she's attracted to.
No, it's not individual, but she makes a fair point.
Sorry, I was going to say this earlier. Gadsad says it. An analysis of romantic fiction around the world reveals all the heroes are tall, dark, handsome, exceedingly rich.
Yeah?
Every single one.
What was the word? I can't remember.
Hypergamy.
Hypergamy, thank you. That's the word I was looking for. But that's the thing, though. I mean, women look in a mate someone to protect their offspring.
But these are only generalized attractions. They aren't, you can't take an individual and say, this is what you're attracted to.
Right. There are some women who are attracted to beta males. That's a thing too.
Yeah.
Well, Jordan Peterson told Kathy Newman because they can dominate them.
Yeah, makes sense.
Oh, but as Alicia says too, but after the first child, they want a nice man. I would think that even before the first child, they want a nice man, but he should also be able to blah, 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 blah.
It's why there are so many paternity issues, because women will pick a good carer as a spouse and then go and have sex during their horniest times with the man who turns them on. And that is just a biological fact, and it's not all women, but it happens a lot.
What is the correlation between men who turn women on and men who are good fathers?
There is no real correlation.
Yeah, I didn't think so. That seems like a failure of evolution, in my opinion.
Yeah, but that's more a failure of our society than evolution itself. Because in our society, we've created a system, especially in the Western world, where men are responsible and are held responsible for financial well-being of their offspring, but at the same time, they don't have to be in the vicinity.
No, it's not just that, but in America, a man can prove he's not the father and still be financially liable for the offspring.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah. It's a thing.
That makes no sense.
Of course it doesn't make any sense. And it's also illegal for the man to insist upon a paternity test.
Yeah, in certain
Fuck that,
states.
Jazz.
Actually, in Europe, this is also a problem.
If she's saying I'm the father and I'm not sure that I'm
There
the
are
father,
countries-
then what the fuck? Why can't I
There
ask
are
for a
countries
paternity
in
test?
Europe, and I think the Netherlands is one of them, where you cannot have a paternity test unless the woman at least knows it and probably has to agree to it.
That's
So
stupid.
yeah.
Yeah, can we get rid of all these gendered laws while we're at it?
Yeah.
Well, that's one of the things we should get rid of, I think. But no, I mean, if we look at America now, I mean, hell, they're trying to block someone reaching the Supreme Court because I am woman, hear me roar.
Yeah, back in caveman days, the tribe took care of the children.
Well, evolutionary speaking, women took care of the children for the first 4 to 5 years. And after that, depending on the sex, men would get more involved. That doesn't mean that men weren't involved before that, but until that time, there is a balance towards women doing... Sorry?
If you're a hunter, there's very little you can do for a very young child. You have to focus on work.
Yes, and for men, this is still the case. We still aren't as good at raising small children as women are. As simple as that. But at the same time, it's very hard on women as well. That's why back in the days,
one of the hardest things you can do.
Yeah, back in the days, you had a village basically. You had a group of women taking care of the children. That's not only to do a better job, but it's also to protect each other from your mental instabilities. Because children are very demanding. And this can be very heavy. Now, this is something women on average have a problem with no matter what. And then also, shortly after their pregnancies, they are hormonally imbalanced. This is biology. It's not their fault. But this is why working together was better than doing it on your own.
Makes sense.
I'm not sure that happened, to be honest, Alicia. I don't think that during hunter-gatherer societies they would get rid of women. because women are, and throughout history, women have always been the protected class. No society can do without their women.
Alicia said, male bears eat the baby if there's not enough food. Well, humans aren't bears.
Yeah, that is also
We've
fact.
not gone through the same history. I don't think that that's an important point, Alicia.
No, I think it is an important point. I'm sorry that you learned that in your anthropology class, but in all fairness, anthropology is one of my, how you call it, hobbies. And I know of no culture where women were being pushed out. And yeah, the bear things, this is not something you only see with the bears. You can see this with bears. Bears eat their own cubs. No, well, not their own cubs, but cubs of others. Wolves, lions. But cavemen didn't. They would protect the offspring. We know this could have happened. I mean, obviously, when the group had to move from location A to location B, and no one could carry the babies, then yeah, they were left behind. But
even in the ancient world, when you conquered a people, you often sold the children into slavery, and when the children were killed, it was often considered morally abhorrent by ancient historians, at least. And I know ancient historians are aren't necessarily preserving the thought of their age in every case, but it does show that even in ancient times, killing children of tribes that you conquer is considered distasteful.
No, but I'm not sure what you're talking about, then, Alicia. But I know for a fact sounds really stupid when you're talking about the Stone Age, but we know that the protection of women and children was already part of the tribal societies, and we can go back as far as Neanderthals and Erectus. We know that these protected women. No, but it is important because it's part of the narrative. So if it's already being taught in anthropology classes, then that's part of the problem, in my humble opinion. Hi, that's Squarepeg.
Hey, Squarepeg. And let me ask you a question about the rule of law again, because we kind of veered off a little bit. Like, isn't there a problem with when laws are with like laws being made by people? Isn't that something to look out for when you're talking about the rule of law?
Well, I don't mind laws being made for people as long as they apply to everyone equally.
But, like, who would get to decide that then? Or is this a stupid question?
No, that's politics for you. Who gets to decide? The politicians. Who put the politicians in power? Well, theoretically speaking, we do.
It's fun, Lynn. I think he wants in.
I'll send you a link, mate. One sec.
Hey, cool.
Haven't seen you in a while.
I like fodder.
I'll tweet it to you, fodder. Where are you? I've got too many of these things open. Haha, there you are. There you go. Link sent over Twitter, but fodder not. But yeah, let's focus on the rule of law, because where do we see the rule of law failing?
We have multiple sets of laws followed by different people in the same country. Like where you have the rule of law of the whole country and Sharia side by side. You can't have that shit, if you ask me.
Yeah,
either you follow the rule of the land or get the fuck out. So it might sound a bit harsh, but you know.
Well, who said that?
Hey, what up, Futter? Who said what?
It's been a while since I've been around here.
You're breaking up, mate. I can barely hear what you're saying.
For fuck's sakes.
You know you're showing your face, right?
Well, John, the law has always been applied inconsistently and judged inconsistently. That's a problem with having human judges, and it's something that we're always going to have.
Hmm.
Hey, Squarepack.
Hey, Squareback.
Hey guys.
John, the law has always been applied inconsistently and judged inconsistently. That's a problem with having human judges. I can hear myself now. Wow, I have an awful voice.
Hey, Squarepack. Well, I didn't
Hi, guys.
mention it, but
It may be have always been a problem.
I can hear myself.
It may have always been a problem, but it is getting dramatically worse very quickly.
what do you mean by that?
Well, I was citing those examples earlier, things like the Dankula case and the honey badgers, where the judges are blatantly disregarding the law.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
How are they blatantly
Because they believe their own personal morality is more important than the law.
Yeah.
How do you fight it? How do you fight against that? I don't.
And this is what I was saying. Extreme is that judges are supposed to be the counterbalance against the politicians, but if it's the judges who are the problem, how do you fight it?
And shouldn't the judges be disbarred then?
Yeah, how?
And the
They're
judges should
independent. That's
yeah.
the point.
No, here's the thing though, is the judges should be not even associated with the, like, we have humanity, we have friendships and everything else. But in the court of law, the judges in politics should not even be in the same room.
No, it's nothing to do with that. It's they are ideologues.
Mm-hmm.
The judges are ideologues. The law faculties in higher education are extremely left-wing. And so the judges being produced are ideologues. And so they bring their ideology and impose it instead of the law.
Well, I don't get what's this honey badgers thing. Badgers have been in court case or something?
Alison Tiemann tried to sue the Calgary Expo and Mary Sue because they contravened their own contract and their own policies in ways that caused her material harm to her career. And the judge essentially made numerous errors in law in his judgment.
We saw the same with the Dankula case, where basically the judge said, okay, there is nothing there, but I deem it to be this.
Yeah,
therefore
we
I
don't
said
care
it.
what your intention is. I tell you what your intention is. And that is against the rule of law. And it's insane.
Yeah, no, I can. And maybe it's just because it will count Dankula case, but I don't know about the honey badgers case. The honey badgers doesn't have anything to sue for, nor to be sued for. Like
No, Alison Tiemann sued them. Not the honey badgers, sued the Calgary Expo and the Mary Sue.
Yeah, Calgary Expo hasn't been relevant to anything above a homeless person in 30 years.
True that, but the
Calgary
problem...
Expo is a comics convention.
Okay, then I'll back out right now because this isn't like that's my geographical area, but I don't know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm. Basically, they were there at an expo. Basically, they got no platform, even though they were well in advance in saying that they would be there. They were invited speakers, etc., 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 and they basically got no platform for bogus reasons.
And they got defamed in the press. They ruined Alison's comic career, all sorts of things. But the point is that in the court case, evidence was produced and the judge ignored the evidence and came up with a load of stuff that contravened the law. And put with Dankula, this is another example of a judge who is not acting in accordance with the law, or the judge who sent Tommy Robinson to prison for contempt of court illegally. These are more and more examples of judges acting politically, not legally.
Yeah, John, this is one of the reasons why I was surprised about like the whole honey badgers, Allison, whatever case, is you guys have heard about it.
Yeah, because I subscribe to the honey badgers, so
I'm 200 kilometers away. This hasn't been covered in our press.
Well, duh.
This never made no, like even alternative news where, and I hate the term alternative news, but it does fit in this.
Okay, let me try this one. Did you know that last Thursday there was a mass shooting in, where was it? I have to look it up. Sorry, I'm not that great with my head. It was in English-sounding place in America, Aberdeen. Yeah, there it was. It was in Aberdeen.
Triggered Scotsmen abound.
Yeah, fuck. No, but seriously though, there was a mass shooting. 4 people have died in a mass shooting in Aberdeen. This happened the 26th of September. It's the 27th now. What have you heard about it?
Never heard about it.
You can never hear about anyways.
You'll probably never hear about it anyways, because the shooter was a transgender woman who eventually. Yes. Well, if you
wait,
start
transgender woman, does that mean vagina transgender?
No.
It means penis transgender, and it was a black penis transgender woman who killed.
The rest of the man white.
All that toxic masculinity.
No. This transgender woman killed herself after she killed a bunch of other people.
Oh, fake news. It doesn't matter if they fucking blew themselves up. They couldn't harm a soul. They're transgender and a minority.
Yeah, and there you have it.
The
So
only
they're
time
still in it.
minorities get shot is if a cop shoots them.
Yeah, and that didn't happen, so therefore it's a non-issue. Which is weird, considering the real issue I find most interesting, not so much that it was a transgender woman or black or whatnot. The most interesting thing I found is that when they're talking about mass shootings, they always want to ban assault rifles. They have no idea what an assault rifle is, but they always want to ban assault rifles. This mass shooting was done with a 9mm gun.
Okay, St. Clair is in the U.S., and I'm sure he has a little bit of common sense to a gun. He might agree or disagree. I would much rather get shot with a 223 than a 9mm.
Well, yeah, obviously, 223 is smaller.
But that's what the assault rifles are. The AR-15.
Oh,
They came in 5.56 and in 7.62 and all different calibers, man.
Assault rifle is nothing.
9mm
Assault rifle is nothing with the caliber.
Yeah.
Actually, my husband just walked in. He has military experience. He could tell you what an assault rifle is if you want to know.
Oh, okay. Give me the definition of an assault rifle, because I've yet to get it.
Okay, so
Actually, I'm going to state mine before this and see if it correlates with what the actual definition by somebody in the military is. Okay. My idea of an assault rifle is a short-barreled rifle that has rapid fire capabilities. And by rapid fire, I'm not talking semi-automatic. I'm talking about you hold the trigger down, and it makes three or more shots per trigger pull.
Can you say that again? I didn't hear all of it.
My idea of an assault rifle, like, I hate the term, but my idea of an assault rifle is a short-barreled rifle that shoots like a 7.6 whatever round in rapid succession on one trigger pull.
I don't think the caliber matters that much, to be honest.
So,
Well, no, I was able to define my idea of what an assault rifle is.
Fair enough.
I just want to see if that, like, I can be encompassed in this. It can go further. It can go shallower. But
Yeah.
Then let's give the good man a chance to talk.
are you familiar with a rifle at all that has a selector switch on it?
Yes.
Yeah, the no pew pew and pew pew pew.
So one that goes.
yes and no. Yes, I'm familiar with what kind of rifle that has, but as in first-hand experience, no. I am Canadian, and every state that I've handled a firearm in, having a full auto rifle is illegal.
Okay, so to qualify, yeah, having a fully automatic weapon in the United States is also illegal without special permits, which are ridiculously hard to get. So unless you have a weapon that's made before a certain date, and I don't know what that date is now.
1898.
And they usually don't work anyway. So a weapon that can switch between semi-automatic and any type of fully automatic, so for example, 3-round burst or just fully automatic, that can select between those two is an assault rifle. And that's it. That's all the requirements to be met to be considered an assault rifle. Outside of that, nothing else would consider an assault rifle, regardless of the length of barrel, the style, the design of the weapon itself, whether or not it has an upper lower receiver, or how many times you can squeeze the trigger in rapid succession. It's literally just, can it switch between semi and some form of fully automatic.
So basically, every time in the media they're talking about assault rifles,
They're full of shit.
Smoke.
Yeah, they're talking AR. And a lot of people think that AR stands for assault rifle.
It doesn't.
But in all reality, that is armor light rifle.
Armor light.
Like it's a brand. It's like saying all tissue paper is Kleenex.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, it's the same thing. But it's kind of funny because every time when there's a school shooting and they're like, oh, a rifle was used. Yeah, but in all fairness, considered to confined spaces, a shotgun or a handgun would be more effective than a rifle.
Well, a handgun is way more, like when you're talking about like a school shooting or a confined space like that, in my opinion, a handgun is way more effective. Like, I know I've talked to you guys in private.
Am I muted?
No, they can hear you.
No, it's really not. No, it's just nobody can fire a handgun accurately to save their life. This is only drawn from experience. Okay, this is where, I've had 30 or 40 people from my unit go to the range who've handled M9s before, and they can't shoot for shit.
Yeah, but if you're going into a classroom and just randomly shoot people.
Yeah, rifles are usually and almost always much better at being accurate than handguns are.
Yeah, that shorter range.
That has entirely to do with the length of the barrel and how it is actually rifled down the barrel.
Okay.
Yes,
That
and
makes sense.
I'm going to add on to that. I did have CCW in 2 states. Do you know what?
CCW.
Concealed carry weapons.
Okay.
The reason for that was personal protection. I was in the United States. I really liked being known like, hey, you know what? Other people can open carry. Fuck that. I'm not going to get mugged by some guy that's legally carrying a gun. Weapon.
That's what I like about Texas. You're now even allowed to carry a sword.
No, the gun that I chose wasn't a 45. I would not want a 45 for personal protection. I chose a little 22 fucking pea shooter. And the reason why is because I can get off 6 shots. And the time it takes that other person to get off 1.
Yeah,
now, their 1 is way more deadly than mine, but you got 6 holes in you. I don't care how deadly you are. You're nothing.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
I've seen shotgun pistols. So basically, they're pistol-barreled shotguns. That's it. Brilliant.
Yeah. No.
Like modern blunderbusses, you mean?
Yeah, basically, yeah. Well, it's to me, it's the ultimate short-range defense weapon.
I get the feeling that most of the time you wouldn't even be loading that with regular shot. You would just be loading it with like like bird shot, like which just
Yeah. Well, heavy bird shot, but still.
I get. Oh, jeez. I would not like to be hit by that.
Well,
No?
St. Clair, ask your husband, boyfriend. I don't know. It's been a while since we talked. What he would prefer for a short, like if he was hit mud, would he want that 50 cal handgun, or would he rather have a 22?
Basically, if you were shooting a room full of kids, what would you use?
No, that's not the question.
What
would you want to use as defense?
I was joking around. What was the real question? I wasn't paying attention.
Ask him for real. Like, I've had mixed opinions on whether my opinion is right or wrong. I always carried a 22. It was a little 22 handgun. This thing actually was like the size of a fucking squirt gun. It carried, like, I forget if it is 8 or 11 rounds in it. And my reasoning for that was I went to the range. I tried shooting off a 45. And my train of thought was, by the time I get that second shot off, like after the recoil and I aim back, because I am a smaller guy, I was already dead. Where with the 22, yeah, there is a recoil.
Not a whole lot.
But I can go pow, 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 pow. And even if I missed half the shots, I had 6 in to the guy that was threatening me.
So what is the question? What would he prefer?
As a defense.
Yeah, like what is the better choice? A big caliber handgun for self-defense or a small caliber?
Hey there, Ludicrous.
I think you're fine with a 9mm. 22 is unlikely to kill somebody, and anything bigger than that will break your fucking hand.
So yeah, 9mm is easy.
The expert has spoken.
Well, he is Asian, so.
Well, no, he was in Afghanistan for what was it, 7 years?
No, months.
Well, you were in the military.
What were you doing there, and did you clean out the plantation?
Wait, how long were you in the military for?
I was in the South Carolina Army National Guard for 7 years. I got deployed to Afghanistan in 2011.
Okay, then I fucked that up. But okay.
And I was there for 7 months.
7 months.
Yeah.
Okay.
As I said, I like the fact that in Texas you are now allowed to carry swords and axes. That's
we would never find you without an axe, huh?
There will always be an axe on my belt.
Well, I mean, think about it. I mean, you can concealed carry, but nobody's supposed to know that you're concealed carry. But are you really going to fuck with somebody who's carrying around an axe?
There you have it. Actually, this is something that really happened, and this is the last thing we're going to talk about when we're talking about guns, and then we go back to the rule of law. But years ago, I used to be a Viking reenactor. I haven't been doing it for a long time, but I've done this. Years ago, they were at an event. We were at an event, and someone was breaking in the cars from people there. And there was a reenactor that was actually walking there, and he saw this happen. So he charged the guy brandishing 2 hand axes. Oh, man. I never seen anyone run as fast.
Wait, you mean he was dual-wielding hand axes?
Yeah, the hand axe is easily dual-wielded, mate. It's really not that difficult.
Well, yeah, I was just asking because it's not the smartest idea in any circumstance to dual-wield weapons.
Oh, no, I totally disagree with you. If you know what to do, it's a great idea.
It's a horrible idea. It is a horrible idea.
As long as you know what to do with it.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said there.
Well, one thing that you can't do very well if you're dual wielding is block.
Hell
Especially
yes, with an axe. It's not that I cannot only block, I can actually hook you. And then I still have a second axe that I can use to let you know why it's a better idea to have 2 axes.
2 axes to 6 foot sword.
I think
Well, Raven.
I think most people are going to be carrying carrying a handgun, and I think handgun beats axes.
Yes.
Listen, if you hit me with a handgun and I hit you with an axe,
depends on where you're shot.
The way you're
The axe is gonna
use the
live.
weapon. If you use both weapons for their intended purpose, I think handgun beats axe.
listen, according to Hollywood, if you are in melee combat, you hit someone with your weapon, and if you're out of range, so you have to shoot, you miss someone with your weapon.
Okay.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Anyway, let's go back.
Crumple a piece of paper.
Let's go back to the topic at hand. We were talking about should we or should we not return to the rule of law. Now, I've been often advocating that we should, but there are obvious difficulties for when we do return to the rule of law.
Okay, what do you mean by the rule of law? Because that's a term that's been lost over the past 40 years.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it still meant the same. To me, the rule of law means that the law is the guideline in the ruling of society. So if the law says something isn't allowed to happen, it's not allowed to happen by anyone.
Then, yes, we should return to the rule of law.
You're not going to find very many people who disagree with you on that, especially in this conversation.
Well, I mean, as the real Raven said, we have to go back to an echo chamber here. I mean, I've been into a Twitter debate not too long ago, basically telling me that it's an echo chamber, and at the same time, people disagree with me, so it's a bad echo chamber. So I have to go back to being an echo chamber.
Well, no, you know what? Here's the rule of the internet. If you have a bad echo chamber, you actually have a good decision.
Well, I personally don't want to have an echo chamber at all.
It's hard to find. It's hard to find a bunch of people that'll actually discuss all these topics that disagree.
Yeah, I'd rather disagree. I mean, listen.
No, we should not go back to the rule of law. That's not something that many people are going to say out loud.
Let's get the anarchists in.
Well, no, it's like the anarcho-capitalists. It's like, well,
yeah, they're willing to talk. Yeah, usually.
Yeah,
Anyway.
and then they tell you that you're just stupid because you don't understand. Although it's like, but
or they tell you that you're
anarchy
evil.
and capitalism are two different things.
I never understood the mix of anarcho whatever. It's like either you have anarchy or you have the other thing.
Yeah.
Thank you, whoever said that.
Smirkus.
Yeah, no, you're completely right. Hey, but people, I am sorry. We've only been busy for about an hour, I know, but old man is tired. So I think I'm going to call it quits, actually, because nearly falling over. Oh, my wife wants to say something. What is it?
Never mind. Sorry.
I just what?
No, that's okay.
Yeah,
Let her unmute herself. Don't be so oppressing.
I did ask if we could go back to the topic, but already it seems that we've basically said everything there is to say anyway.
Well,
Am I missing something, or have we said everything there is to say?
I don't know. I wasn't here.
No, we're not discussing echo chambers, Nick. We're talking about the rule of law and whether we should return to it. And basically, so far, everyone seems to agree to that.
Well, why don't you explain in a little bit more detail what exactly we should return to when you say the rule of law?
Yeah,
we have rules on the books, and we should apply them to everyone. And if we disagree with one rule, we should change it. But we should change it for everyone. There should be no political or emotional difference between any person. The rule of law is equal to everyone.
Yeah, so like if a
So
celebrity
what
gets
you're saying-
caught with drugs, they should go to jail just as the beggar on the street that's caught with drugs, not this rehab.
Well, if you want to go to put them to the jail, then yes, I would say they should all go to rehab or to the facilities to help them. But the beggar just as much as the rich guy. But
Yeah,
yeah,
but
that's
that doesn't happen.
difference. No, that doesn't happen. Poor guys are being sent to jail, and the rich guys are being sent to rehab, which is weird.
In
But
the United
how do we
States,
change the laws with society?
One moment, Ferdinand. Let's square peg talk. She wanted to say something.
in the United States, I find, this is just my opinion, it depends on how much money and political power you have. If you have the correct amount of funds to buy the correct lawyer, you're not going to jail. And the rest of us poor folk, we're going to jail.
Which is a problem.
This is one thing. I actually believe in both of what you guys say. And it's something I'd love to see how we can do it is when a criminal charge or civil charge is put, that all names are just defendant or prosecute, whatever. That there is absolutely no names. That means, say, Modwain touched me in the bad spot, right?
I've got long arms.
And
In the butternut.
Modwain touched me in the butternut. Oh, fuck. I actually might record that one. But
Clip it. Clip it.
You're welcome. Feel free to use that. It's a safe clip.
Yeah.
But the thing is,
don't use that. The internet trolls will basically tell people then that I touch people in their butternut.
now my username's actually a fucking euphemism. Like,
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
no, but like, this is actually something that I'd have to say is, even in the Cosby, where I do truly believe the guy is fucking guilty as shit, I don't think it should have been reported on any names, either accuser or accused. I think that needs to be left out of law. It needs to be a thing. We need to go back 300-400 years where it's this happened. Did it happen or did it not happen?
Yeah.
Look how long it
And-
took to convict him.
Yeah.
It took, what, he's 80-some years old? It took that long to convict him.
Took that long
Yeah,
for
it
didn't
actually
take that
only
long for
took
people to step
Really
forward.
take 80 years to
No, his first accusers came out in the 80s, and he paid them off.
Yeah.
Really?
That should be illegal by itself.
Yep.
Okay,
The first
no.
women that
Well, it is.
No, I agree with Smirkus on that. It's not illegal. Got with Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson paid off a bunch of his accusers too.
Yeah.
Yes, and it was allowed to happen because they were part of the elite. Because they didn't prosecute these guys, they were allowed to continue on doing what they did over and over and over again. That's where the rule of law really failed, where us not following the rule of law fails the entire society.
But I mean, if we look at closer things now, if we look at, for example, Antifa creating havoc in places like Berkeley, the rule of law stands down. They let this happen. There's a professor who actually nearly killed someone who's not really getting jailed because
the bike lock guy.
The bike lock guy, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you see, even in that case, I don't think either of them should have been. Like, here's something where I'd say we need to change how we do things. Is defendant and accuser should never be named until after the fact.
Well, yeah.
Oh, brown bike lock, indeed, leprechaun.
No, but in reality,
in general, it's really not. It's really, I agree with that. It's really not the public's business until the court's been decided, or the sentence has been decided.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we talked about gag orders. Gag orders get granted to, and I hate to say this because it goes against every bone in my body. Gag orders get granted to the elite.
Which should be illegal.
Name it. But the thing is I don't think that we should have gag orders. I think our entire court system needs a gag order until a conviction.
I think all of this really came to a head during the O.J. Simpson trial. I know this is the throwback, and some people might not be old enough to remember this, but it was one of the very first times they allowed media inside the courtroom. It was unheard of before O.J. Simpson. And then it just kind of blew up from there.
Well, it could be.
I did not know that.
No, I remember the OJ trials, but not as vividly as that. You could be correct. It had to have started somewhere.
I remember the OJ trial. Then a year later, we had Court TV on our cable subscription.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Court TV.
Oh,
that was actually a pretty interesting channel. It was like YouTube before the internet.
But I don't think they should have ever allowed media into the courtroom, ever.
Well, in certain... Oh, sorry. I'm really tired. In certain countries, they aren't allowed into the courtroom. They're only allowed to make drawings. They're not even allowed to make photos.
Yes, that's how it used to be here.
Yeah.
That's my country. Thank you.
Well, maybe we need to go back to that. It doesn't mean that we should give people gag orders. That's not the same thing. But
I don't think we could go back to that.
Why not?
I don't think, like, for me, because I've spent enough time on both sides of the border, I'll talk myself up and say that I have a little bit more understanding of this. Is, you know what? We're at a point in society that we need to make a decision. Yes or no? Can we talk about an ongoing court case? Pure and simple. Allow media in.
I think
or
public
don't
opinion
allow.
should not be a thing during a court case.
Actually, I have to agree with what Alicia says as well. I mean, we have to be careful. Even if you're still running in a court case, should we not protect the people around you?
Yes.
Yep.
I agree with that. So, yes, we should make it too public, but that doesn't mean that we should completely close it off as well. We shouldn't run the court case as a public opinion piece, but we should let the public know that this is going on.
Well, here in Canada, does anybody remember somebody named Guillaume Kumeshi?
The name rings a bell.
Okay, he was a CBC reporter.
Yeah.
He pissed somebody off, and all of a sudden, 5 people came across and said, "Oh, well, he raped me."
Yeah, and for 3 years long, he wasn't able to use the internet, even though that was his job.
No, that's Alan Gregory.
Oh, okay.
This one lost his career. He actually wasn't a bad reporter. He just liked a kinky sex life.
What does that have to do with his job?
Throughout all the court proceedings, he was acquitted. He was acquitted and said, "Hey, you're kind of a fucking freak in the bedroom and a degenerate in your own house. But you really haven't done anything legally wrong."
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that guy's ever going to get another job reporting on the news again?
No, it's not just that. He got attacked for recently publishing an article telling his own side of the story. He wasn't even allowed to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's guilty until we prove you guilty. Just like Judge Kavanaugh.
I mean, they turned his name into a meme. And then they're saying you can't even have your own name.
No, turning the name into a meme is all good. I can agree with a little bit of kink shaming on that.
No,
Like,
no.
I
It
got a
wasn't-
kink.
It was a meme as a rapist. A hashtag on
Yeah,
Twitter.
no, I think he got the raw deal. Like, he wasn't a bad reporter. I saw his reports before he was accused. But all of a sudden, he was accused by, I think, 5 different girls, and one of them was a celebrity, like a Canadian celebrity, if that's a celebrity.
Mhm.
He was acquitted. The courts found him. I believe the judge actually said, "You're a horrible human being,
But you didn't break the
but
law.
you did nothing wrong."
Yeah, there's
Kind
people
of-
like that out there.
Yeah, those people should not have their careers decimated just because one bitch gets fucking pissed off at you. And we know that having one person pissed off at you in our modern world can ruin your life.
Well, you touched
Like,
my futter nutter.
Yeah, like square peg totally violated my butter.
But this is another thing that we have.
Man, your
This
square
is why we
peg
need
touched
to
my nutter
return
butter.
to. This is another thing why we need to return to the rule of law, because at this point in time, false rape accusations, false any accusations, are so much the norm at the moment that people, well, you know, in the beginning, people used to think, well, if there's smoke, there must be a fire. Now people don't even think that anymore. Now people are like, yeah, they don't like what he has to say, so therefore he's being attacked. If we look at Kavanaugh, for example, there aren't a lot of people who believe the false accusations that Kavanaugh has received. But this is partly to blame because people have been calling wolf for so long that society now is slightly turning away. These people are doing to...
Hey, Raven.
Hey, Raven, by the way. These people are doing to the help that we've been trying to give people that have actually been raped, be they male or female. They're undoing all of that. They just set back rape accusations by another 10 years because real victims don't want to come forward because they see a massive amount of lies being published, and they're basically like, okay, I can't come forward because who's going to believe me?
And why would they? All these other women are lying. Why should we believe you? It's, thanks. Thanks, feminism.
Thank you, feminism.
I always like to read the articles where those false accusers are being sent to jail.
But that doesn't happen that much. It really doesn't happen that much. No, even in Britain, it doesn't happen that much. There's a handful of cases. It needs to happen always.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
And I'm not saying that if they can't convict the rapist, they should convict the accuser. But if they can prove that the rapist is physically incapable of having committed the crime, they should convict the false. How do you call it?
The false accuser.
A false accuser.
And they should.
You mean like an accuser who's drunk on the floor, wakes up and sees somebody's penis and thinks it might have been this judge from 30
No, I'm not
years
even.
ago.
I'm not talking about that even. I'm talking about how there have been rape accusations against men, mostly, let's be honest, where the men were provably not in the location where the person accusing them claimed they were. If we look at the Duke lacrosse team, the guys weren't even in the same city. But it was headline news for what, half a year at least?
Duke got sued hard for that. Duke got in a lot of trouble for that situation. So did Rolling Stone for publishing it.
And they should have. Or the mattress girl story. For fuck's sake.
That girl.
And they should go to jail for the exact same amount a man would have gone to for.
And they haven't.
Actually did it.
And that woman that accused the Duke lacrosse team eventually got committed of murder because she committed murder after that.
Really?
Yes. A murder she would not have committed if she had been convicted for her false accusation, by the way.
Wow.
In England.
So did she go to jail for murder then?
Yeah.
Okay.
In England, I forgot the name. A fat lesbian woman.
What an outstanding person.
Yeah, well, yeah. But this woman had 2 people escaped the United Kingdom, and 3 people were in jail. She had a total of 15 people she accused of rape during the last 7 or 8 years. And eventually, she got convicted for false accusation. She only got sentenced to, what, a year, 1.5?
Yeah, something
You
like
still
that.
remember this case, John?
But at least she got convicted.
Yeah,
Well,
at least
she
we
got
convict. At least we convict in this country because they don't anywhere near as much abroad.
But this is the funny thing. I'm going to share this one. Oh, this is interesting to me anyway. Wait a second. First, I gotta make sure that I have the right picture.
Just like people that swat other people are going to jail for the false accusation of.
This should be a crime of malicious reporting.
But it is a crime. It is a crime. Even in California, it is a crime. This is, by the way, why that bitch is willing to testify in Congress, but has not made an accusation against Kavanaugh, because doing so would make her a criminal.
You know what? Here's the thing about the whole Kavanaugh. And I'm sorry, I just got back, so it might have already been said. But the Kavanaugh thing is, how do you go 40 freaking years? You're already at the top of your game.
Yeah, and now all of a sudden someone...
And then in the 50th year, all of a sudden this shit came out from the 80s from people that can't even tell you what year it happened in.
But it's the same fucking thing that they did with Trump, to be honest. The dude never was called a racist, but suddenly he runs against a Democrat and he's a racist. It's pissing me off.
Trump was a Democrat, though.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably still a Democrat at heart.
Well,
he was a Democrat.
Here's the thing. I've come across...
Anyway, I'm going to share this little bit. The Penal Code 148.5. Come on. Fuck it. I'm not going to get it better than this. Is the Californian law against making a false report of a crime. Specifically, this section applies when you make a false report of a misdemeanor or felony criminal matter to a police officer, a peace officer, a prosecutor, a grand jury, or a state or local employee assigned to accept reports from citizens. You want to know why she hasn't come forward and accused Kavanaugh at the FBI? This is why. Because then she's actually a criminal herself.
But if she's making all these statements, isn't that like doing that anyway?
No, because she's now Kavanaugh can indict her for libel, but she's libelous, obviously, but she's not breaking any state or country's laws. Because
it's
she
so
didn't
hard
go
to
to the
prove
police.
libel.
Well, in this case, it's very easy to prove because, come on.
Well, no, like the thing with Kavanaugh is one, look at his and yeah, this is a bad description to start out with, but look at his entire career. You look at the accusation. The accusation was, hey, this guy wanted to get jiggy with me. I said no. He went home. Essentially is what that fucking accusation is.
No, it's not.
No, the Kavanaugh accusation is different.
No. The Kavanaugh accusation is he pinned me down and tried to take my clothes off until his mate jumped on him and I wriggled free and escaped.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
In an unknown house by an unknown owner.
Yeah.
Well,
Unknown
at a party that I can't
Unknown
remember.
time.
And I ran out of this room, and actually nobody there noticed.
And nobody else
I
knew
wasn't
about it.
screaming.
And,
Well,
and there were 4 guys there, and nobody recalls anything.
Well, no, here's the thing. And this is why I'm for the Me Too movement and against it. Is we got 2, 4, 6, 8 people in here. We've all had a Me Too moment.
I haven't.
No, talk for yourself.
Talk for yourself.
Okay, fine. I'll talk for myself. I've had that.
I've had an anti-Me Too moment.
I can also tell you right now what year that happened in.
In all fairness, I don't understand how you can have a movement against sexual harassment and call it Pound Me Too.
I was about to say that.
Well, I was leaving the jokes aside, but like in all reality, if you've been quote unquote a victim, you know when the fuck it happened. It's not a year range. It's not like, oh well, this happened some point between 1995 and 2000. It's like, well, no, I can't recall the exact date, but this is the year it happened. This is the month that it happened.
If it's that significant, she'd have written it down.
Yeah.
Or told her girlfriend.
I mean,
you don't have to write it down. This is what I'm saying.
She would write it down.
She waited for Twitter to be.
I work in psychiatry. I work in psychiatry. What I've learned is that when people go through traumatic experiences, they will remember certain facts. They won't remember everything, but this woman remembered nothing.
Yes, that's where I'm saying is like it's like I'm not saying that I'm a victim and I've done this and that and the next thing, but like anything that I can equate to the same scenarios. I can't remember the entire every little detail, but I definitely know that it was 1997. I know this fact, that fact, and the other fact. I don't say, oh well, it was somewhere between 1990 and 2000.
Mm-hmm.
I heard it was a regressed memory.
Repressed memory. Repressed memory. And it's highly doubtful. It's a highly doubtful.
Your memories are so regressive.
Like somebody, like somebody hypnotized her or something, and she remembered what happened. Is that it?
Yeah. No, Modwain might fucking strangle me off air.
I've seen too many examples of rape accusers being reminded of what happened by their attorney.
Yes.
It's kind of funny that something like a hashtag would trigger, they're not even saying that another traumatic experience has recovered magically this bogus claim of lost memory. No, it was a hashtag, something on social media, It had so much emotional impact that it kind of uncovered the brain. It's kind of really weird.
Actually, Raven, sorry, Modwain, I'm going to interrupt you. Raven, that's not very hard to believe. I've had very little things that have reminded me of what has gone on, which I just chose to forget.
But that's chose to forget. I mean, I think the whole thing about repressed memory is that
I forgot to remember to forget.
Repressed memory and choosing to forget are one of the same.
No.
they're not.
No, they're not. Repressed memory is something you do involuntarily. You actually completely lose it. It's like with the theory of it's like a mental condition, like those people who have multiple personalities. Super extremely seldom, that is. It's very rare. And repressed memory, there's not even like a scientific theory for that one. It's very well possible that it's all made up. You know, it's just like people talking you into something, and then you start imagining stuff that you may have encountered in the past, experienced in the past. So I think it's a terrible concept. It shouldn't be admissible in law at all.
Well,
I don't think it should be admissible.
No, it
At
isn't.
least not admissible.
We factually know that if there's one thing that women and men are really bad at, it's remembering traumatic events.
Yeah.
We really suck at it.
Yeah. We're much better at remembering birthdays.
Happy as an adult. Like, if we remembered everything that we had as a kid,
almost
how
nobody
many of us would be happy now?
Almost nobody remembers that little event that happened 17 years ago in New York City. I mean, what was that again? I don't remember.
You married the agent. Why don't you tell us?
Yeah, I think Hooters was having a sale. I think Hooters was having a sale on something. I don't remember.
It was like 8/10 or 10/12, or was it 9/11?
Okay, here's the thing that really gets me about this gal's story. The gal that is telling this story that where Judge Kavanaugh was laying on top of her and all that.
Is this the third accuser?
This is the first one, first accuser. This is what makes it ring untrue to me. And it's just from, I don't know, because I'm a girl, I guess. If this had happened, she would have told her girlfriend. And her best friend in the whole world says she never heard a word about it. Yeah. Because it never progressed to an actual rape. She would have told her girlfriend.
If there's one thing that girls really can't be relied upon for, it's gossip.
No, I never gossip.
Actually, Square Peg, this is something I'll tell you. Like, I don't believe that in itself. Granted, I'm not disqualifying your idea, but I don't believe that in itself is a good enough reason to say let's not believe.
No, this is just why it rang untrue to me. If it had progressed to an actual rape, I would have told no one other than probably the authorities and my folks. But
the thing is, she didn't tell anybody. The guy was already a judge. She didn't. The timing was really dodgy. She didn't tell anybody until he was up for becoming Supreme Court judge, and she could have said it a month before that as well. But she said she chose to say it like a week before the decision was made. It was the chosen timing.
Yeah, I
don't see how anyone can see this. Like I said, everybody's had traumatic experiences in their life. And we're not calling that down in the stream. We're not saying that everybody's a liar, or we're not even calling her a liar.
Oh, actually, I am calling her a liar.
I am.
Well, so am I, but I was trying to be like politically correct here.
So at least 40% of us are calling her a liar.
But the thing is, at least we would have some sort of, it wasn't Bush Jr. that was president, it was Reagan. And she can't even fucking say that. She said somewhere between, 1982 and 1984?
But that's the thing. And, I mean, there have been, I've been looking for it, but I can't find it. There have been people pointing out that before Kavanaugh was given the go ahead as the new Supreme Court judge, they were speaking about a few other candidates, and apparently this woman made a Facebook post basically saying we should accuse them of rape until they choose the one that we want.
I would love to see that.
Oh my!
I need to see that too.
Yeah, I can't find it. I'm sorry.
No, she scrubbed
I can't believe it without seeing.
She scrubbed her social media just before the accusation came out.
Before this accusation came out. But people apparently found that she, in the past, basically said that we should do this based on different judges.
Yeah, no, you see, that is hyperbole. Or
no,
whatever
this is
the
what
word
actually
is.
happened. but unfortunately, I'm looking for it. I can't find it. My Google.
To me, as much as I hate this chick for accusing the guy of doing something that I don't believe him to do, I'm not going to believe the other side very much either. At this point, I want to see that. If there's Facebook posts of that, that should be evident.
Yeah, let's see.
It kind of goes to the way of, hey, this guy's been a judge for 50 years. He hasn't raped a soul. But now we have somebody that says that he raped her 60 years ago.
Let's be honest, though. Democrats don't really give a fuck because Trump won a prize together with Rosa Parks and Muhammad Ali because he was such a great guy to help the minorities in America, and yet he's still a racist. So,
well, no, like, hey, let's tie this all back to the topic again, because if all judges followed just the rule of law and not their own personal interpretations and shit, wouldn't it even matter who is a Supreme Court justice?
Well, yeah. It's just another
thing called humanity.
No. This is not a humanity thing. They are pushing certain people in these positions, just like we have Juncker in Europe as the head of the European Union. There's nothing that he should be doing there, but he's there because people pushed him into that position. And from that position, they can influence our society. And this is true
but from
justices as well.
We were talking about rule of law, right? And if it was impartial, it shouldn't matter who is the Supreme Court justice as long as they follow the rule of law, right?
I mean, one problem I see is that they reach back to a time where people weren't even 18 years old. So basically, you can now be accused for something that you did as a kid or as a youth, like roughhousing, Let's say you just fooling around and you just kind of have pretend fights or something. Now you can basically reinterpret that and say, oh, that I was not harassed, I was, what's the word? Attacked. Assaulted, that's the one. I was assaulted by a 16-year-old when I was 15 or 17, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And
that have to do with
that is not
being a judge in the rule of law.
It's not a crime, it's not. It's just you can just reinterpret it as a attempted rape, and destroy somebody.
And that's what judges do. They interpret the laws. That's their job.
Yeah, and in the Supreme Court, they get to decide what the law is because the law basically is.
But that's also why you have statutes. Well, they call it the statutes of.
Too many people at the same time.
Yeah.
The rule of law includes the statute that something can go expire after 20 or 30 years. That's one of the reasons for it.
Yeah, it's a different issue.
I kind of want to hear what St. Clair has to say because I'm mute and I'm mute.
I was just helping Real Raven. It's just called the Statute of Limitations. Statute of Limitations. That's what it's called in English.
Oh, okay.
Makes sense. But obviously they want to get rid of it, like with something like recovered memory or repressed memory, which I still contest as a valid thing. They should be able to throw that out then.
I'm sorry, this is me talking from authority. Trust me, repressed memories are not valid.
I've not repressed any of the horrible things that ever happened to me.
If we're talking repressed memories, should we also charge my parents with genocide? Because when I was trying to quit smoking, I was on the patch, and my parents were these pirates, and they also nuked all population.
What? I have no idea what you're talking about.
That's exactly where the repressed memories come from. We have memories. We do have memories that are hidden. We don't want to remember.
No, you're correct and you're wrong at the very same time. Yes, there are things we don't want to remember. And the first thing our mind does, whether we like to or not, is shape those things we don't want to remember in a way that we can remember them. The memories we have of traumatic things do have very false parts in them. Otherwise, we couldn't handle them. That doesn't mean that they're 100% false, but they're definitely not 50% true.
Okay, well, this may be another dumb question, but how can you interpret the law if it just says this is this law? You violated that.
No law,
See you later.
Marcus. No law is actually written like that.
Oh, okay.
Laws are written in a way. Laws tend to be written in a way that you need to have some kind of college degree in order to understand it. The purpose of judges is to interpret what's written down and try and figure out what the fuck it is.
Okay.
In America, especially, there are so many layers of civil law, and it's impossible to parse through them all unless you spend a great amount of time doing it. It has to be your job.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that clarifies that then. Thank you.
It's a terrible situation, but it's one that's always existed as far back as we've had written laws.
It's not just because of the word of the law being hard to read, but it's tricky. You see it with Title IX, that people are not educated in
campus rape law.
Yeah, exactly, because it's very hard to give somebody a fair trial. You have to learn this shit. It's not something that you can intuitively do. You actually have to learn a lot of the rules.
I don't think I don't think that we need
when
to.
You say it's a campus law, is that?
I just think that the U.S. and because Title IX is becoming more prevalent in Canadian culture, we need to abolish Title IX.
So
since when you either raped or you didn't rape.
Since when does campuses are not part of the rest of the society that they need different laws?
That's kind of what I'm saying. Long story short.
I mean, I was kind of retarded in my wording there because I couldn't figure it out, but yeah.
No, you said exactly where it was. When does a campus get to create their own laws?
Yeah, because you said campus law, and it's like, wait, campus law? Since when do campuses need different laws than the rest of society?
They kind of have.
That's what Title IX is.
Yeah, it's Title IX.
Like, where's Title IX?
Title IX wasn't supposed to work like that, to be honest.
Huh.
But Modwain, this does tie in a little bit to the greater topic. I mean, do you think that campus law should be separate from the rest of society? And obviously, I think you would say no.
You're correct. I would say no.
I'm thinking that you would have a hard time getting somebody that says yes in this Discord.
Because of the echo chamber, right?
Yeah, there's that.
We need to invite more social justice warriors.
But they don't want to come.
They don't want to.
What's his name? Counterpoints. You should get him, her on the stream.
I mean, why don't you invite Alicia? She's had a few good points, and she hasn't completely agreed with everything we've said.
Oh no, Alicia is fair. She stands up for what she thinks is right, whether we agree or not.
Right.
That's what I like.
She doesn't always have time.
She doesn't always have time. I always invite her. Alicia, you're welcome to join, right?
Is Alicia the black chick?
No, she's the blonde chick.
Alicia's in the chat at the moment. Rin, by the way, won't be joining us for the foreseeable future because she got.
Rin is the black chick.
Yeah, she's got a job. That's not fair. She already had a job. She got more hours, and because of that, she won't be able.
She's working full time now.
Yeah, and because of that, she won't be able to join us on Wednesday night streams, which is a pity. It really is. So I'm the G. What does that mean? I'm the G. I don't understand it. I'm the G.
What G?
Yeah,
you're a Jew.
I'm American, and I don't even understand that.
What do you mean G?
Well, Real Raven, she invites you into her.
Oh, chat. the girl.
Oh, see, yeah. Listen, Real Raven, you are going to be our Alicia interpreter.
Yeah, I'll try.
Wait. Are you talking to Alicia in the chat there?
Yes.
Sorry, I just looked at another screen.
Yes.
Why doesn't she join?
Because she's busy.
She doesn't have time.
I don't believe in the rule of law. Oh, okay.
Anyway, guys.
Well,
I
it's
did say
one
this
thing to
earlier.
say
we're
that
probably
you
gonna
don't
have
believe
a,
in something. It's another to actually like come in. No one's gonna actually hate on you.
Okay, G
I
means
don't
gangster.
think Alicia is afraid to join us, mate. I seriously don't believe Alicia is afraid to join us. There are people who seem to think that is the case. I don't think Alicia is one of those people.
We're gonna have a
not
stream
sure.
tomorrow.
Well, fine. I don't know her from a fucking hole in the ground.
You should subscribe to her and then look at the stream tomorrow.
That's awfully sexist, Butternut.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Raven, I asked you in the chat, when is the stream tomorrow? Did you answer?
Yeah, she did. 1:30.
I won't send her the link.
Yeah,
Wait, Raven's having a stream tomorrow? No, I don't have an invite.
Well, on Alicia's, it's Alicia's stream. I'm only a guest.
Alicia, it's already sent to you on Twitter about 3 hours ago. So you can join us.
Oh, wait, no. I gotta go pee. I want her to.
So I'm curious though, and this is me being slighted. I feel so slighted. Why are you doing streams with Alicia? Why did she ask you and not me?
I don't know. You think you're better qualified? You have your own stream though, Modwain. In fairness, I don't have a stream.
I'm not better qualified than you, Real Raven. I really aren't. But I'm no more than you are. But it was a good joke to make.
Don't you have qualifications in psychiatry?
No, not psychiatry. I'm a social therapist. I'm not a psychiatrist.
Yeah, but what exactly is your what did you go to college for?
Actually, I basically rolled into the work. My education is completely different, but I've been doing this job for more than 25 years now. So I'm willing to say that I'm more qualified than I'm more qualified than some of my colleagues.
You're definitely more qualified than any of us.
Sorry?
Oh, I think you're certainly more qualified than most of us.
Well, it depends. In this particular job, yes. But on different jobs, no. I mean, I think David is more qualified to tell you about music than I am.
Well, I think in understanding the way that people think, I think you're more qualified than the rest of us because you have more experience with that than we do.
Well, I hope so, yes. I hope so.
It's a really interesting topic.
It is, and it's kind of funny because on average, we keep making the same mistakes, and this is probably why I am at heart a leftist, even though people don't believe it. But I believe in the emotional part of humans, and I believe in taking care of humans, in taking care of each other. The extreme left is going to
call me.
Well, in a way, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm seriously, in a way, yes. I like to take care of the people around me, and I like the people around me to take care of me. So, in a way, yes, that's communism, but not in the way communism is communism, funny enough.
But Modwain, you live so far away.
Oh, we have two people with faces now in the chat? What?
Hey, Alicia.
Faces?
Will you come grab the baby?
Oh, Alicia.
I'll be right there.
I will not come grab the baby.
All about that face. About that face.
Don't let her grab the baby. Oh my God.
Hey, Modwain.
Fortnite, you made it happen. You made Alicia appear on the stream. That's great. Now we have to extend it.
Modwain.
Yes.
Without getting too personal, I know how much you've helped me out over the past couple of years. I'd like to pass another person off to you. You in DMs.
Yes, sure.
You're enough of a cuck and a whatever else to Yeah, you're going to do this girl good.
I'm not a nice guy. That's for sure. I like to be an honest guy, but I'm not.
You know what?
I'm here.
Hello.
People have stopped.
Hi.
People think that I'm a nice guy and I'm not an asshole anymore. I'm actually kind of happy and sad about that.
What?
No, listen.
Because I don't know where I sit on whether I'm an asshole or a nice guy.
Well, do the things you like to do and try to pay attention to the people you care about, and that's all there is to it.
Let's ask.
There's only one thing that I do is I pay attention to the people I care about. Like,
Yeah, I was paying attention in the chat as well.
Is in trouble. I'm there wholeheartedly. If I don't care about you.
So, Alicia,
Do you
why don't you?
want to know why I don't believe in the rule of law?
Why are you stressed, Alicia?
Well, my life is in danger right now. That's why.
How is your life in danger?
Can you talk about it?
The court system fucked up. Yeah, because we live in America and it's a fucking circus show. So today was hopefully the day that I could get the person I was looking for at least arrested, so that maybe we could have some peace and everyone would be safe and she would be safe. And
I saw you said,
who is she?
Melissa, is it?
My sister. That's my sister. That's my sister. And
She
the
was
judge
missing.
fucked me over today.
Shit.
So, and it wasn't his fault. He was really sad about it. He was. He's restrained by the rule of law. He's restrained by the rules that arbitrary men come up with. So I've always been impartial to law being like a joke, but the rule of law.
Arbitrary men.
What?
Did you just say like arbitrary men? Like this is
When I use the term men and mankind, I mean men and women and women and men. And the reason why I use the term mankind and men to encompass both of us is because I'm so anti-feminist. I refuse to use their word of humankind and saying men and women.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, guys, I'm sorry, I'm going to interrupt you real fast. Square is having to. So thank you, Square, for joining us. I hope to see you all.
Square back.
No, not all. I hope to see you next time.
Yep. I'll leave Alicia here to tear everybody up. You go, girl.
I'm gonna tear them up.
Yeah.
We're only allowed to have one female on the stream at one time.
It's called the patriarchy, okay?
It's not a
real legal system.
You guys must be careful. I've listened to her videos. All right, guys. Have a good night.
Good night.
Good night.
But no,
So
what
anyway.
happened is that, so I was hoping, because, so this has been like a spiraling situation for the last 2 months, right? She got arrested. Well, I mean, going all the way back. So we had a situation where we wanted to protect her children and get the kids into the custody of the father. And that's, it's really hard to do. You guys know that. It's really hard to do. And so
what was the reason? Actually, you know what? I'm not neutral in this at all, but what were the reasons why you wanted the custody changed to the father?
She's physically and mentally abusive.
Well, that's a good reason.
That is. Like, this is
you don't.
This is backstory, okay? Like,
yeah, it's backstory. So you have to understand, and most people know this that watch my channel, and I get hell for it. I don't believe in corporal punishment with kids. I don't. But I'm not like so high and mighty that, I'm not going to instantly call the cops if you swack your kid one time. It has to be pure and present. Absolute. Even people that spank their kids would agree with me. Do you understand what I mean by that? Because I understand.
Never raise your hand in anger.
Yeah, so I understand different people have different parenting skills, but we had a lot against us. And so her son, he was ready. He had his camera ready. He filmed that she attacked my brother-in-law very aggressively. he was about to be arrested, but the boy, my nephew, sorry, I just call him the boy. It's not to be rude, but he showed the cops. So then the cops arrested her, which was good, and she was taken to jail. And my mother bailed her out of jail, right? She bailed her out. But now the second time, she got arrested the second time. Now, I told my mother not to bail her out of jail the second time. Now, here was where the problem set in. The father didn't have enough money to get an apartment for all of them unless they sold the house. They needed to sell the house. And the way that things are set up in Utah, I couldn't get to her unless I bailed her out of jail. So I bailed her out of jail on the condition that she would give me power of attorney over the house so I could get the house sold. And she was going to get the money for an attorney, and then the other half was going to go to the father so that he could get an apartment for the kids. And that's when the problem really spiraled out of control, because I don't know, I'm pretty sure she's taking weird medication that has rotted her brain, because she started she was telling everybody that everybody was running a pedophile ring. And so I bailed her out the second time, but I kept her in jail long enough that if she was on drugs, that it should have at least kind of been out of her system, right? Kind of been out of her system. I bailed her out, brought her home, and to my house, which is not safe because I have kids there and things like that. And she kept saying, everything's going to be fine. There's nothing wrong. I took her to the courthouse. She started yelling at me. She jumped out of the car. She threw shit at me. She started to attack me. And then she said that I was part of this big, huge conspiracy where we were wanting to kidnap her kids. And so then I had to and then she went to a cop even to tell him this. And the cop got a hold of me because I know a lot of the cops. And he's like, she's lost her fucking mind. Like, what can you do? And all I had to do is, because of the ways they're written, if I could get her to voluntarily just take one step into the emergency room, just one little step, then I could have had her committed to get her help, because clearly she was out of her mind. And the problem is that she knew that, and I couldn't quite get her there. I just couldn't quite get her there. And then she was homeless. I went and found her again. I brought her back to my mom's house. And this was going on for 2 and 3 weeks, where I was spending all day searching for her. And she started hanging out with homeless men, and she started having relationships with them. And then she spiraled. And then 2 weeks ago, she was at my mother's house taking a shower. And then she had 2 really scary homeless men. And I'm not like picking on men right now, but they were dangerous. And sorry, Drusilla just walked in. But my mom just said that she couldn't be there. She took off. I found her one last time. She knew she had court today. And I was hoping today that the judge could at least, I could talk to the judge and ask him, she needs to be either committed or go to jail. But there was nothing he could do. And so what he did, he didn't even give her an arrest warrant. He gave a stay for 1 week. So I have another week where she has an opportunity to show up. Even though she hasn't shown up the last 3 times for court, he just keeps giving her all these chances. And she's dangerous, and I'm worried about my mother, because she's so close to my mother's house, and she really hates my mother right now. Like, she's a danger. She tried to kidnap. She tried to kidnap my daughter. She tried to steal her car. Because of the way that she spoke, we weren't allowed to get her arrested. I mean, it's not. She's turned from like an asshole to a real full-blown
liability.
predator. Yeah. So it's kind of like fucked up. So I honestly, I don't know. I don't think I even believe in the rule of law anymore.
Well, that's another thing, though, because back in the days, I'm talking about the 80s, people that were a threat to themselves or other people could be not arrested, but taken in and brought to psychological health facilities.
But the problem with that is then you get the people that just commit people.
Yeah, somewhere around the 80s they changed that. Either you have to voluntarily go, or you have to actually commit a crime. And once you commit a crime, they can force you. But before that, they can't do much. And I have no idea why they went to this situation.
It's a general problem though with the law. I really feel for you, Alicia, because like I have a sister, or had a sister. She was bipolar, and the normal rules don't apply, and that's not what the law was written for. It wasn't written for people with mental instabilities. That's the problem. That's also one of the problems with Me Too. The law assumes that people still have their mental faculties, and that's what it was.
Are you saying that you don't have your mental faculties, Raven?
No, I'm saying that no, but just I from my experience, my sister, she was bipolar, and I know how it completely changes the rules, And these people can be okay if you have paranoia, or if you have what's it called? What's the other one? Schizophrenia. These people are often highly functional, highly intelligent, and pathological liars. And they just make up shit on the fly, and it's really, really plausible. And if you go with the rule of law, you just can't do anything. You really have to you have to have them committed, and you have to find out that it's basically all bullshit what they say. And that's how Me Too works.
Yeah, but
it's just people making up shit, and then normal rules like for normally mentally stable people are applied to them. That's what the law is written for mentally stable people. The problem is these get rarer and rarer. Mentally stable people get really, really rare over time. So that's why the law kind of misfires so much now.
Yeah, no, I don't blame the law for misfiring, because even though
it's just people getting the law can't keep up with people's mental disabilities. That's the problem.
Yeah, but back in the day, having a mental disability and being a threat or a danger to people around you was the reason to limit your movement and actually force you.
I mean, we're talking about, so the situation in America is that everybody is medicated. So I think it's as high as 1 in 4 chicks, and then 1 in 6 men. So they're handing out these psychological medication like they're fucking candy. And they're also handing out opioids like candy. And so not only, even if it was just like a little minor, tiny little mind problem, they're making it into full-blown schizophrenia on people that don't have it. Like, I was in court today. I was talking to these young people. They got busted for texting and driving. It was really silly. But the girl was telling me her doctor had her on 5 medications. I'm like, why are you on 5 different medications? What the fuck?
Yeah.
But it's a common thing.
That's not the question. The question is if you're on 5 medications, you're already pre-diagnosed. Why are you texting and driving?
Well, she wasn't. Her boyfriend was.
Then why was she in court?
Well, no, because she was showing support for her boyfriend. So what you're missing.
Yeah, why is that not even relevant?
But what you're missing here is that we have a dual problem in America. The dual problem is that you have the real crazy people that aren't getting treated, and then you have the non-crazy people that get treated and get turned into crazy people.
Indeed.
No.
Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm still trying to wrap my head around the relevance. So the girlfriend was in court because the boyfriend was texting and driving.
She was there.
Even worst case scenario, boyfriend killed somebody because he was texting and driving. Where does the girlfriend even play into the scenario?
I don't. It has nothing.
Was he not distracted?
What the hell are you talking about? It has nothing to do with anything, dude. I was just throwing out like an anecdotal thing to entertain the audience. This is a fucking circus. I mean, come on, let's get real. All of this is just a circus. I'm throwing out a little bit of information to make it entertaining.
I was thoroughly entertained.
Anyway,
Oh no, your
I like
entertaining, but it wasn't very informative.
Let me talk a moment. Alicia, thank you very much for joining us.
What?
But
It's about how
it
people
is-
are on meds, not necessarily the court case.
It is time for me to say goodnight. I was already tired. I wanted to stop an hour ago. I am not going into overtime. I'm not going into overtime today. I can't.
All right, you guys. It's been good. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing your story with us, Alicia. And I
Yeah.
am curious to
Now I
find
know
out-
what's happened.
Yeah, I'm curious to find out how this will turn out.
It's gonna end ugly. I just
Yeah. And by the way, Alicia, please drop your link in chat if you got a wrench. I wouldn't mind checking out your channel and seeing what you
Her
got.
channel is awesome. Her channel is absolutely awesome. Listen, Alicia, I hope does your brother-in-law still have custody? Yeah.
Yes, I helped
Yeah,
him
that's
get
good.
custody.
That's the main thing.
We won full custody. So it was really good. It was really hard, but we did it
Nice.
together.
Nice
and so
one.
that's why if you're a man and you know that something's wrong, you really need to reach out to a female to help you. Unfortunately,
Yes.
I'm not trying to be a dick, but that's the way we're.
Can I be a
that's
dick
right.
here?
It's just like if you're a Jew and they want to put you into the
Raven
concentration
and
camp,
Modwain. Can I be a dick?
you already are.
You realize, oh man, I have full custody for the past 2 years.
Good man.
Yeah, but you are the exception. I speak for you, mate, but you are the exception.
It cost me a lot of fucking money, okay?
Yeah, and you're still the exception. Most men do not get custody.
Well, Photronut is an exceptional person.
That's true. Anyway, guys, famous last words. Alicia, I'm going to start with you because you're the last one to join us.
Yeah, you guys join us tomorrow, 1:30. We're
Even
gonna
invite
go
me.
live. Well, I'm going to invite you. You know what? I'm going to invite you right now. I have gotten nobody that's wanted to take on how to beat the left. So why don't we try to tackle that bad boy?
I thought Neil Raven would join you.
No, that's tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, if you want to join us tomorrow.
Nah,
No, I'm in the future.
Tomorrow's a different stream. Tomorrow's a different stream. It's about
Yeah, tomorrow is just the follow up to the backlash of the Me Too. We've been gathering up information on young children being harmed by the movement.
Yeah.
What time is this stream tomorrow, Lisa?
It's 1:30 Mountain Time, so Mountain USA time. So where are you at?
Mountain USA. That is totally different than Mountain Canadian.
Compared to
I'm
current
American.
time.
I'm sorry, I'm really American. That was really American of me.
Alicia.
Yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt your freedom units of measurement. 0 degrees Celsius.
Sorry.
Alicia.
Sorry.
Compared to current time.
Right now it's 5:30 my time.
So it's 4 hours before that.
No, that can't be true. That's American time, not Canadian time.
Please, mate, let me try to figure out what's going on. So it's basically 4 hours before now.
Yes, that is correct.
That I know. Thank you. I'll try to sit in.
4:30. Well, it's 12:30 here, so 8 hours.
Yeah, so 1:30. We don't have much time to prepare, so I'm going to be preparing tomorrow morning. I'm kind of in I'm in the hate zone, so I'm really focused when I'm in the hate zone.
Okay.
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 You have anything to say as final last words?
Who?
Connor.
Me?
Yes.
Well, I've had like a 600% jump in my fucking viewership. Do people not have a life? Why are you watching my channel?
Because you started streaming, right?
No, it makes no sense.
No, you started streaming. That's why.
Yeah, no, people should still watch something other than my channel.
They should all be watching my channel, obviously.
Yeah.
Oh well.
First world problems.
Real Raven, any last words?
Yeah, I'm just here because of my German accent.
John, any last words? John?
He fell asleep.
He fell asleep. Marcus, any last words?
Nope.
Okay, St. Clair, any last words?
Yes, I would like everyone watching this to subscribe to my channel. I am focusing. I am making content again, and at the moment I'm focusing on very old, ancient philosophical texts from Egypt and Samaria, and reading them in English. It's very interesting to know what people will think.
Cool. That's interesting. I'm excited for the Sumerian.
But have you been demonetized?
How come I haven't had any?
I got an email today, guys. I got an email today. Permanently demonetized. Not that I care.
Did you have demonetized?
Permanently. Because I have hateful I don't know, something. My music. They don't like my music.
Bastards.
Hey, St. Clair, what's the channel name now?
It's St. Clair.
Still St. Clair?
Yeah, there's the link in the right there. I tried putting it in the chat, but it wouldn't let me.
Because you don't have the wrench. You need the wrench.
I have a wrench. It's fine. I can accept that. Oh, thank you.
What the fuck? I'm subscribed to you, but in subscribers?
Excuse me?
I just clicked that link.
Yeah.
You did thank me to say, hey, let's get you back on YouTube, kind of moral support on this. But you only got 15 subscribers?
I only have 3 videos, and 2 of them have only been in the past week.
What happened to all the shit that you did when I started following you?
That was a different channel, and it's been deleted for a long time.
And he didn't keep backups.
I didn't keep backups because I'm a fucking retard.
Yeah, now we need to go to fucking Devil's Advocate to watch his videos on slavery.
Really good stuff.
Excuse me?
You got really good stuff.
I did, and I will again.
That's the end.
Here.
And I agree.
No, you need more subscribers. You need like the 4,000 to 5,000 mark.
Well, then you guys should work on that.
All chill out St. Clair's channel because guy's actually capable of a lot of fucking shit.
Everyone seems to think I'm a fucking genius. I don't know why.
Yeah, me neither. You really make great stuff, though, mate. You really do.
Well, no, I'm not one to fucking float many people's boat, but you should really fucking pump that shit out. You got good content.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Modwain,
I will make fun of you the next time I see you.
It's no good. You need regular content. I got good content, but you need regular content.
Yeah, that's my problem too.
No, it's not. You stream every week, so and you make videos. Yeah. You're prolific in my mind, anyway.
I haven't made that many videos in the last.
Yes, you made.
Long time.
Yes, you did.
Well, he's made more than me.
Video and one.
It's enough, you know. I don't want my inbox overflowing, you know. I don't need like 3-4 videos a week from one person. I'm subscribed to 250 different persons, or 300 maybe. So I don't really need to. I don't need that pressure, you know.
Oh, John left without saying anything.
I'd say it's just the English internet. They probably asked him if you had a license for live streaming. Have you got a license?
Anyway, people, this is going to be me signing off. I'd like to thank everyone for joining. It was a funny talk, even though we didn't really talk about what we wanted to talk about. That's not true.
It wasn't much of a topic.
Yeah, it wasn't much of a topic because on average we agreed.
Yeah, as usual.
That's an echo chamber in here.
Your topic. I'm passive aggressive.
Anyway, guys, thank you very much for coming, and I hope to see you all next time.